Should I stay or should I go? Have you had a lot of people tell you what to do or give you their opinion on your relationship? This might be work-related or personal, but often there are those that just feel they have the right to tell you what to do, that they know better, and don't even try to understand things from your perspective. Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm from Wellbeing, and in this series we're dealing with abusive relationships, those that experience the full force of narcissism and its impact. As usual, if you like what I have to say, please subscribe and share, as you never know when someone else may need some help. Those that are in abusive relationships often don't tell anyone. They continue to suffer the treatment and they're left to deal with their own thoughts and feelings. There may have been a time when they tried to open up to other people and perhaps to alleviate that cognitive dissonance, but usually when we do this, people don't understand and can make you feel even worse. Let me try and explain. Emotional abuse leaves no external signs. There are no broken bones, no cuts and no bruises. The abuse is more insidious and there are passive-aggressive behaviours, which I'll elaborate in another vlog. But these are things like stonewalling, the silent treatment, intentional neglect and so forth. They're made to look like incidental behaviourisms, but they leave you feeling alone, punished and confused. If you try to talk to your abuser about how you feel about receiving such treatment, it's usually followed by denial, you're too sensitive, or a blatant lie that this is just not what happened and you're imagining it. It may even be switched around and you're told that it's your fault. So with this treatment usually comes a fair amount of confusion. And as we try to reach out to others to determine if it is indeed us so we can find some clarity, they hope that the other person, or we hope that the other person can provide this clarity and tell us that maybe we should have said things differently, done something else, prepared better, possibly even been less selfish. Or that the narcissist is indeed doing things that are destructive and really mean or selfish themselves. The problem lies in that most people, even those that have experienced difficult relationships, have not dealt with these behaviours day in and day out. And those that are in the relationship have been putting up with it for possibly even years. Friends and relatives can acknowledge that the relationships are difficult, but they may not understand the full implications of this. So when a close friend or family member doesn't understand the situation, they can't really empathise with what you're going through, but they may try and offer advice. This can be with a good intent, but it also can leave a secondary wound. Being told that you've made your bed, now lie in it, or that you need to take responsibility for your part, that they're really a nice guy or girl, and man or woman, or look how they help the community, your friends, your mother, or potentially even worse, they minimise the effect that it has on you, and they tell you that things will be all right, that everything happens for a reason. Now, none of these suggestions or advice is helpful, and it can leave you feeling much, much worse. So you then may try and explain in even more detail. And this is never easy, because there are times when your abuser will probably have been nice, and this is part of them hooking you back in. And you may even find it hard to explain yourself what the situation really is. And as a result, that well-meaning friend may just say, well, why don't you leave? Leave the job with the cruddy boss, the selfish manipulative co-worker, or the never-present husband. Now things can become even more confusing. You were most likely quite an independent person, made your own decisions and probably had your own income before. But over time you've become dependent on these people, and therefore it's not always possible to leave. In the work scenario, you may need to live, pay bills and meet your obligations. Or it may look like this is your dream job, and leaving this just because of a few little things that you don't like will probably be to your detriment. Now these could be limiting beliefs and they can be dealt with, but they will take some time and you will need to seek out a coach to help you. And in the case of a romantic relationship, it can be even more difficult. Often there was a ceremony and a commitment made, and you may take these really seriously so that breaking such a thing feels like deceit. There can be cultural or religious reasons that make leaving challenging. You may be exiled from the family or your community, or judged and left feeling even more alone. Sometimes there are children involved, and the thought of not being available to them or being able to provide them with the care and the love that you want to give, or that they have to cope with a toxic person on their own, may just be too much. All of these reasons can make leaving an impossibility at this time. So when someone says suck it up, or they say leave, they're not helping, they're actually making it so much harder. So today, my friends, I want you to know that whatever you decide, it's okay. If yours or your loved ones, though, are in physical danger, then please go, because that's a different story. But if you feel that your own personal reasons for leaving, that it's just not possible right now, then that too is okay. What you do need to do, though, is develop some coping strategies that make it bearable, less stressful, and healthier for you and those you care about. To do this, you need to disassociate emotionally. Now, I know this can be difficult. Just like anything, be it cooking or driving or running a marathon, you need to practice and do it bit by bit. Soon you'll understand your own boundaries, and I've a previous blog about this to help you determine what those are, because often in the times that we're in these relationships, we lose all perspective of what our own personal boundaries are. Once you know what is okay now and that what you won't tolerate, you can choose your response. Now remember, no response is still a response. And with this type of narcissistic personality, unfortunately, they thrive on you reacting. Maybe you cry, get angry, ask for help, or ask for forgiveness. Whatever you do, it validates that you still care, and they know this. However, by doing it, you're probably feeling physically drained, weak, may get headaches or other stress-related symptoms. Some people develop depression, anxiety, agoraphobia, and cut all ties with those maybe that could help them. A better way would be to use the grey rock method. Notice their behaviour, that it's occurring over and over again, that it's a pattern, and pay as little attention as possible. I totally understand that this is easier said than done in the initial instances, but if you can turn inward, understand your boundaries and what values are important to you, then you're going to have better control over your emotions and how you respond. And this can only help you physically and then psychologically and emotionally as you begin to feel stronger and you have more clarity about how you feel and what is happening to you. This inner knowing will give you strength. And can you imagine what it will feel like when you no longer have that cognitive dissonance and you don't need to turn externally for clarity? It will free you up to be present for your friends, to be present for those that you care about, and free from those even if they're well-intended, judgments, and help you in whatever decisions that you then decide to make now or maybe even later. If you find this has helped, please press and like and subscribe, and remember to share it with someone else that may be in need of help. Until next time, I wish you much love.